welcome to Travel Bits. This is a show where I offer travel tips, some general knowledge and experiences that I've had in the past to hopefully help you in your future travels. I am your host, Bonnie Quartermanch of Bonnie's Travel, a home-based travel agency here in Seekonk. Today, the subject that I chose to talk about is travel insurance. What exactly is it? What does it cover? And is it something that I need? I do want to start with a disclaimer that I am not an insurance expert. I'm not an insurance agent. The information that I'm presenting today, I got from Google, from previous policies that clients have purchased, and also from insurance policies that I myself have purchased for my travels. So because there's so much information and I want to make sure I get it right, you're going to see me refer to my notes quite a bit. I just want to make sure that I don't give any misinformation. So what exactly is travel insurance? Well, as homeowners and auto and homeowners insurance protects your person and your property, travel insurance pretty much covers the same thing, except it takes care of you while you are traveling. Should you get ill or suffer any financial losses while you're away on vacation. So what does travel insurance cover? It covers quite a bit. One thing that it does cover is trip cancellation. If something comes up and for whatever reason you have to cancel the trip that you've been saving for and planning for quite a while. There's lots of reasons for trips, vacations that would have to be canceled. We have business conflicts, illness, weather. Say you applied for a visa or a passport and it's delayed making its way to you. Terrorism that comes up nowadays, which is sad. A cruise line or a hotel that you're going to is out of business. You're in an accident on the way to the airport. There's a fire or a flood at your home. You have jury duty that you can't get out of. Again, there's lots of reasons why sometimes vacations need to be canceled. And the main thing too with cancellation, this cancellation part of insurance policies is you would need to purchase, you must purchase the travel insurance, cancellation insurance on the same day that you put a deposit on your vacation. You can't book your vacation and you're a week out and all of a sudden you find out you're not feeling well or you know you've broken your leg, so you purchase the insurance right before you cancel. It obviously doesn't fly. So another thing that travel insurance covers is medical insurance. Now, medical insurance it protects you should you become ill or injured while traveling. It provides short-term medical coverage for the duration that can be anywhere from 5 days up to 1 year, depending on the policy. Now, it can cover your medical expenses. It helps locate doctors and hospitals, healthcare facilities, and foreign language services if you become ill or injured while traveling overseas. When you're exploring this option and you already have medical insurance at home, you need to find out if you need prior approval from your medical insurance company for while you're away on vacation. The U.S. government urges Americans to consult their medical insurance companies prior to traveling abroad to determine whether their policy applies overseas. For example, for medical insurance, your medical insurance may cover you in the U.S. and Canada, but not in Europe. And also, Medicaid does not provide coverage for hospitals or medical costs outside of the United States. It is also important to check if you have any existing medical conditions that may act up or hinder you while you travel. Make sure those are covered or excluded from the policy. So in case there is something that comes up on your vacation, you are covered. Sorry. Okay. The next option on travel insurance is accidental death and flight accident insurance. This option pretty much is self-explanatory. This option pays benefits to your beneficiaries should something drastic like this happen while you're away on vacation. The next is trip interruption. In travel insurance terms, a trip interruption is any situation that causes a traveler to unexpectedly end their trip and return home. Trip interruption is coverage that reimburses a traveler for the amount defined in the policy and can be up to 150% of their unused prepaid trip costs. Most hotels, cruise lines, things like that, most reputable places will credit you for unused portions of your trips. That's not always the case, but usually, like I said, reputable ones will cover you should something like that happens. The next option is lost or stolen baggage. This will protect your bags and personal items from the time you leave your home until the time you return. Your policy will have a maximum payout and usually a per item limit. Items over a certain cost must be accompanied by an original receipt. So in other words, if you lose your bags and you're at your destination and you have no clothing, no items, this will cover all of your necessities that you need to purchase while you're there, so you can still continue on your vacation. You just remember to save all your receipts so you can present them to the when you file your claim at the end of your trip. Delayed baggage is the next option. This coverage is intended to provide for the essentials while your bags can be located and returned to you. This coverage starts when your bags have been delayed a certain number of hours per your policy, usually anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. So say you get to your destination and your bags do not come off the carousel. So you make your way to the hotel and you need a toothbrush to brush your teeth before you go to bed. You need, you're at a beach destination and you need a bathing suit, items like that. Just things that you need, essentials that you need to get you through until they locate your bag and deliver it to you. Again, this is something where you would need to save your receipts. Travel delay. Now this option will provide you reimbursement for additional transportation costs or additional expenses for meals and lodging should your flight be delayed by inclement weather or for any other covered reason under your policy. Note that such an event to be considered a delay, it must last for the minimum time stated in your plan, for example, 6 hours or more. Also, the reason for the delay needs to be covered, be a covered reason as listed in your plan. There are limits, of course, and travel delay benefits reimburse reasonable expenses up to the limit shown in the policy, for example, $150 a day. Don't expect your travel insurance to pay for a lavish sushi dinner and a stay at the Ritz-Carlton. So if your flight is delayed and you miss your connection, so you're stuck in, say, Miami, at the Miami airport, there's no flights out until the next day. You are covered. You can get yourself some supper and find your way to a hotel in the area, and this insurance will cover that, as long as, also your breakfast the next morning, things like that. Missed connection. For a covered reason, travel insurance can reimburse you for the unused part of your prepaid expenses if you miss at least 24 hours of your trip, minus any refunds. Insurance may also reimburse for reasonable meal, accommodation, and transportation per your policy related to your missed connection, or to get you back to your original destination or a point where you can continue your trip. In other words, again, weather causes you to leave your departure gate late, so you know that you are not going to make your connecting flight. This will take care of you to get you to cover any expenses if you need to rebook to go the next day, anything the flight doesn't cover. Also, if you're flying to go on a cruise and the boat leaves without you, and it will if you're not there, this insurance will reimburse you for, say your first stop is in Florida, it will get you to Florida and get you on that ship so you can continue on your vacation. So, the cost of purchasing travel insurance. Of course, cost is usually a key factor when deciding this, because you're already spending a lot of money on your vacation. And you got to wonder, is it something that I really need? I had posted something recently on my Facebook page, and the responses that I got, one person responded that yes, she doesn't travel without insurance, and another person said, no, I'd rather save the money and apply that towards my trip. So there are broad spectrums to whether you need it or want it. But the cost of the travel insurance generally costs between 4 and 8% of the total cost of your trip. So it's a good way to protect your investment and also protect yourself while you're away, and at a nominal cost. I mean, we know how much auto insurance costs. We know how much homeowners insurance cost. And yeah, sometimes it seems like a lot, but if you were to lose your house in a storm or a fire, thank goodness you had paid that amount for protection. So do you really need travel insurance? Do you really need it? Well, there's lots to consider when you're trying to determine if it's best for you. Some questions to ask yourself are, will you be traveling overseas? Are you planning to participate in extreme sports? Can you afford the cost of the trip back home if an emergency arises and you need to get back? Or if you or someone who is traveling with you gets sick, will you be able to afford the medical care? In this day and age, there are so many things that can happen on your vacation while you're away from home that can turn your dream vacation into a nightmare. So when deciding whether to purchase a policy, go through as many scenarios as you can. Get familiar with the cancellation policies of the hotels, the cruise lines, and the other travel service providers. Review existing policies and agreements with credit card companies. Credit card companies actually cover quite a bit for while you're away, such as lost luggage and car rental liability. Be familiar with price schedules, terms and conditions, and exclusions of the insurance you choose. So it's pretty much be informed when you're purchasing travel insurance, and make sure it has everything that you potentially would need, and leave out the things that you don't need. So the bottom line is, the fine print is the backbone of your contract, and it will be what determines what type of coverage you will have when you need it the most. When you have the right insurance in place to cover you on your trip, you can ensure that your dream vacation turns out to be all that you had planned and more. On a personal note, for years and years, my husband and I, we never purchased travel insurance. We didn't really see the need for it. And it wasn't until we were in Mexico and we were riding bicycles and I fell off my bike and I was injured. I was able to make it back to the hotel. From there, we had to call the hotel medic. He came and looked at me. That was a $125 fee right there. And from there, we had to take a cab to the hospital. We got to the hospital and there was x-rays and treatment and such. From there, we had to take a cab to the pharmacy to fill prescriptions, and then it was the cab ride back to the resort. Granted, it was not a serious injury, but the total bill was about $2,200 when all was said and done. When we came home, I submitted my claim to my medical insurance to see what they would cover, and they graciously reimbursed us for $170. So if I had spent that $170 on travel insurance instead, all of my fees would have been covered. So it's not so much because I fell, but we've been on so many vacations and we've been lucky that nothing serious has happened. But we're also in a world where so much could happen, and things do happen nowadays. And I hear more and more stories on my travel agent networks of people that are just stranded or just lost because they've incurred so much expense with accidents that have happened to them, that I find it's a worthwhile investment. So I would personally have that peace of mind and purchase travel insurance, again, just to protect yourself. Well, that's all that I have for you today. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you've learned something. If you have any questions or comments or ideas for future shows, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'm always looking for someone who would like to come on my show and sit and talk to me about their vacation, or I've tried getting travel industry people to come by and talk with me, but it looks like everybody's just too camera shy. So again, I'd appreciate it if you got in touch. You can find me at Bonnie's Travel on Facebook, or you can contact me through the studio here. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.